Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, hot weather is blazing across several parts of the country. We'll show you how to keep cool right here in the South Bay. And we'll explain why some people swear by a gluten-free diet. Then we'll visit a program that gets to the root of the lack of STEM studies. Plus, we'll tell you about the month-long holiday that millions of Muslims will soon observe. These stories and much more just seconds away. Your local news starts right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. Here are your top stories. First, Stockton and Mammoth Lakes, then San Bernardino. Could Compton be next? Well, according to the city's two most senior financial officials, the city is discussing the possibility of filing for bankruptcy and must decide by September 1st whether to proceed. Compton has had an accumulated $43 million deficit and has depleted what had been a $22 million reserve. Estimates show the city will run out of cash to make its payroll on September 1st. Like San Bernardino, Compton has seen property taxes fall precipitously due to rising home foreclosures. Unemployment is worse in Compton, but unlike San Bernardino, Compton increased its property tax to fund its workers' pension obligations. Their retirement program is also fully funded. Here are some highlights from the most recent City Council meeting. Chef Michael Schaefer of the Depot and Buffalo Fire Department restaurants addressed council on the upcoming downtown marketplace. Schaefer and other business owners in downtown Torrance would join produce and food vendors for a weekly evening marketplace. This new venture will coincide with the current Thursday evening farmers market. Local residents can expect to see the area bustling with activity on Thursday nights starting at the end of August. The city's transit department will hold 3 public hearings on proposed transit changes that are scheduled for September. Every transit route will experience some sort of service change. Information on the public hearings and these changes will be given out on buses and through social media. The changes aim to simplify the system and improve reliability. Hearings will be held on August 1st in Torrance, August 6th at El Camino College, and August 9th at Carson Community Center. All hearings start at 7 p.m. After the hearings, staff will then return to council with the public's feedback. Council has approved new lighting and guardrail plans for the Pacific Electric Bridge, also known as Torrance Bridge. 28 white in-ground LED lights will be installed to illuminate arches and columns. Lights will not be attached to the bridge. The railing plan calls for wooden rails to be restored. Others will be replaced. Pedestrians are not allowed on the deck of the bridge. The city hopes to start the work in mid-September to have it completed by the end of December. And council will hold 2 meetings on the road in the fall. On September 18th, the meeting will be held in the North High School Library, and on December 11th, the meeting will be held in the D. Hardison Gymnasium at Wilson Park. The hope is to get residents who live in the area and don't usually come to council meetings to attend. California drivers will be allowed to text when they're behind the wheel as long as they're using a hands-free device. Now, beginning January 1st, drivers will be able to send, dictate, and listen to text messages, but only if they're using a voice-activated device and a headset or Bluetooth. Now, drivers can also use a program inside a vehicle like OnStar, but there's some confusion about the new law, including which devices will be legal. Apple's voice-activated Siri would be illegal even when speaking a message directly into Siri. And according to the CHP, drivers who simply turn on a cell phone or select a phone's hand-free text app can still be ticketed. The same goes for using your phone to read text. The CHP says simply, the phone cannot be in your hands. Hands-free is key. The law signed Friday comes after a 2006 bill made it illegal to talk on a handheld cell phone while driving. Well, to most of us, it may appear that drivers haven't been affected by any cell phone laws, but several recent traffic studies suggest that these laws contributed to a 47% reduction in deaths blamed on drivers using handheld cell phones. Well, there's new data out about our country's veterans. According to the Census Bureau, California has the nation's highest population of former servicemen and women. 2 million veterans live in California. In Texas and Florida, each state has a veteran population of 1.6 million, putting them in second place. Overall, there are 22 million veterans living in the U.S. The census also states that nearly 2 million of the nation's veterans are women. Veterans are more likely than other Americans to have earned a high school diploma, but less likely than others to have a college degree. The new data also shows the median annual income of veterans is about $35,000. That's about $10,000 higher than that of non-veterans. The City of Torrance Parks and Recreation Commission recently hosted its annual awards dinner. Now, this is the 55th year for the event, which recognizes distinguished community members, organizations, and city staff. This year, 5 recipients were honored. Elmer and Adrian Blydestell, who have volunteered countless hours with special needs athletes. Debbie Hayes of the Torrance Historical Society, the Rossberg family, who owns and operates Torrance Bakery, and city employee Allison Salfua. Congratulations to all of them. Well, the 26th Annual Evening Under the Stars is taking place on Saturday, July 28th, and all the proceeds will go here. You're looking at Torrance Memorial Medical Center's tower that is currently under construction. The nearly 400,000 square foot facility will serve as the hospital's new patient tower and is scheduled for completion in November 2014 with plans to open in 2015. I'm sorry. It will house 256 private rooms, 18 surgical and treatment rooms, a utility plant, and a tunnel connecting the existing hospital to the new facility. This hospital's fundraising goal of $200 million has already been met by more than half. Proceeds from the Food and Wine Festival and Evening Under the Stars will be added to construction funds, and everyone is invited to attend. Speaking of, the 26th Annual Evening Under the Stars Gourmet Food and Wine Festival takes place on Saturday, July 28th from 6 to 9:30 p.m. The festival will be hosted by American Honda at the Torrance campus, and several food vendors and sommeliers with 80 different kinds of wines will be there to make the evening a success. For more information on tickets, visit torrancememorial.org. Coming up, we'll tell you how you can keep cool this summer, and we'll find out why gluten-free foods have become so popular.
What are you doing, dear?
My finances. Every week I divide my allowance, some to spend, some to charity. But the first thing I do is set aside 10% to save for my future.
That's awfully grown up. Did you learn that in school?
No, Dad taught me. He said if you want something tomorrow, you have to save today. Dad's saving for retirement. I'm saving for a new bike.
Choose to save. To learn how to get started, get your free Power to Choose brochure.
He's a smart man, your father.
Winston, just one more inning, Grandma.
Ever notice how many things today kids can do without actually moving? A whole lot of things their parents used to do the hard way. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part, which makes exercise even more important for children. In fact, new research tells us the best time to enhance bone development is during childhood and adolescence. And just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Healthy bones come from healthy habits. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
You could choose to join a gang. You could try the latest drugs. You could even choose to drop out of school. You can try to avoid the difficulties in life with a quick fix, or you can face them head on. She did. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
As hot weather blazes across the east and Midwest, the South Bay has remained relatively cool, but August may be the hottest month yet. Reporter J.Z. Jeans tells us how to stay cool when we're not at home.
Summer is a great time for outdoor sports and activities, but when the temperatures are high, it's important to limit your time in the sun. One way to beat the summer heat is to take a trip to the beach where the weather is usually cooler than inland areas.
Usually if it's too hot out, we'll have extra water time or go in the water again, stay under the tents longer.
When going to the beach isn't an option, LA County Community Cooling Centers are free air-conditioned spaces for visitors. The Bartlett Center is one of 2 designated cooling centers in Torrance. Linda Wilson says that the cooling center is open to everyone, especially senior citizens who may be at a higher risk of heat exhaustion.
It's important to keep people out of the heat if they're miserable in their home. It's very important to us to keep our seniors healthy and happy.
The Katie Geisert Library is the other cooling center in Torrance. Some heat safety tips include avoiding the sun from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., wearing light-colored clothing, and taking a cool shower twice a day. And if getting cool at home isn't possible, cooling centers give visitors a place to do just that outside of their home during the hot summer months.
The weather is beautiful here, and this is a place to be. Couldn't be better.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Jay-Z Jeans.
Thank you, Jay-Z. For more information on finding your local cooling center, call 211. That's the statewide network of information and referral providers. Well, for people interested in keeping their weight down and being healthy, it can be hard to figure out just what to eat these days. The latest diet craze is eating only gluten-free products. But these foods aren't just for finicky eaters, reporter Jay-Z Jeans explains.
Chances are, most of us have seen the words gluten-free during a trip to the grocery store. And with all this talk about gluten intolerance, some of us are probably wondering if we should drop gluten from our diets. Allergist Katie Marks helped to set the record straight on living gluten-free.
Gluten is a protein that's present in many grains, such as wheat, rye, and barley.
When someone has a gluten intolerance, symptoms can include skin swelling, shortness of breath, and gastrointestinal problems. Dr. Marks says that gluten disorders range from allergic responses to the more serious celiac disease. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease that affects the intestines.
One of the other big differences on the spectrum between the wheat allergy and the celiac disease is that wheat allergy is more common in children, and many of those children who are diagnosed with wheat allergy do grow out of it.
Gluten is found in foods like pasta, bread, and cereal. And some less expected foods can contain gluten, such as condiments and soups. It's important to research your gluten-free diet plan. Originally, having a gluten-free diet meant giving up certain foods, but thanks to retailers like Whole Foods, now there's plenty of options.
You can still have spaghetti and macaroni and cheese and do it in a gluten-free way.
Whole Foods has several sections dedicated to all gluten-free products. The convenience of gluten-free products does tend to cost more than regular store items. One easy way to spot gluten-free products is to look for the gluten-free seal. Reading labels will also help with maintaining a balanced diet.
With a gluten-free diet, many of the gluten-free processed foods are not fortified, and so oftentimes people on a gluten-free diet aren't getting the right nutrition.
As of today, the only help for gluten-related disorders is changing your diet. Dr. Marks says that patient and physician awareness is likely to help create other remedies in the future.
Because of the research and because more people are being diagnosed, physicians are becoming much more aware of these gluten-related disorders.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Jay-Z Jeans.
Thank you, Jay-Z. If you'd like to find out if you're gluten intolerant, you can schedule an allergy test at southbayallergy.com. As the U.S. tries to regain its footing in the sciences, many educators are doing their part by inspiring young students. Reporter Maudette Lewis takes us to a program that may be the stem of the solution.
The ExxonMobil Youth Development Program has been providing high school students with summer employment and educational opportunities for over 19 years. This year, they incorporated the STEM educational component, which focuses on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to better prepare them for the increasing demands of employment opportunities in these fields. The program is a unique partnership between the City of Torrance, the Torrance Unified School District, and ExxonMobil. It begins with a one-week classroom experience where the students earn school credits to learn workplace behaviors and career development techniques, such as resume writing and interpersonal skills. Lauren Conway is a junior at South High School and is interested in becoming an engineer.
And I also get to go out sometimes with the inspectors to construction projects, and I get to look at how they're building it and learn about that too. And it's really cool. I never realized how much thought has to go into each building.
Jeffrey Gonzalez is going to be a senior at North High School. He learned about the program through one of his friends and was excited when he found out he was accepted.
I definitely like working with police officers because you get to see how, like, the CSI, how they use technology and all this stuff to come up with the solution of, you know, who the person did it. It's just really cool.
STEM is a crucial addition since a fifth of the global workforce consists of those individuals who develop the technologies that we use in our everyday lives.
There's a direct correlation between science and math scores and this country's ability to compete globally. So when you think of it from a workforce development standpoint, it is very important that we train the engineers and scientists for tomorrow.
Today's event was held at the Experium Science Academy. They offered their facility and their instructors to assist with the first week of the Youth Development Program. Scientist Roy Nyberg performed a methane bubbles experiment to demonstrate why bubbles go up and others go down, depending on what's inside the bubbles.
So we did some extreme temperature labs. We also made a magnetic fluid out of nanoparticles. We isolated DNA. We studied pressure. And we also made our own biodegradable plastic in lab. So I think they had a lot of fun with it, and it was a good time.
Students can apply to the program through their high school counselor's office and are selected based on their counselor's recommendation and final interviews. 25 students are selected and employed with a minimum wage salary. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Maudette Lewis.
Thanks, Maudette. For more information on the STEM mentoring program, visit torrancerefinery.com. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about a month-long holiday that millions of Muslims will soon observe.
If you could see anything in the world, what would it be?
I'd love to see Paris.
I like to see cupcakes falling from the sky.
To save your vision in the years ahead, call your eye doctor for a comprehensive eye exam today. Then call 1-800-437-2423 or log on to seeabettertomorrow.org to learn about glaucoma and macular degeneration.
I just want to see more of the things I love.
License and registration, please. Know why I pulled you over? That's right, you were texting. Sit tight, I'll be right back.
Zombies. When you drive and use your phone, you pay over a third less attention to the road.
Something's not right.
My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
My legs, sometimes they'll go numb.
Double vision.
They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Well, the beginning is the hardest time.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was a dancer. I don't see walking the way I walk any different than doing a dance. It just looks different. It's a different dance.
You see me have an off day, it doesn't take away from who I am.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
But I would exercise every day.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
To make a lot of changes in my life and just adapt to it.
I'm going to acknowledge its presence. I'm not going to discount it. But at the same time, I'm going to try my best to not let it stop me.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS. And sharing is the key.
There will soon be a new moon, and that will signal the beginning of an important holiday for millions of Muslims across the globe. Reporter Alexa Sita learns more about Ramadan from some local residents.
At the Inferno Grill on Crenshaw Boulevard, these friends and family members have gathered to break bread.
O ye who believe, fasting is prescribed for you, as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may become righteous.
But starting on July 20th, these gatherings will be limited to once a day. The month-long observance of Ramadan asks all Muslims to fast from sunrise to sunset.
Alaykum sayyamu kama kutiba ala allazina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. The month of fasting among all the 12 months, this is the best month. because here you create a direct relationship with Allah, God.
If you fast, Allah will grant you rewards. It is believed that prayers will be answered. But Ramadan is not just about fasting.
In this month, you do not especially tell a lie, you don't fight, you don't do anything wrong.
We do charity, we help out other people, this is a forgiving month. If you have a difference with somebody, we just embrace them, and put the differences on the side.
And even though he's surrounded by food every day, Ahmed says he's not tempted because he's committed to his faith.
Once you fast, you submit to yourself. No matter how much food in front of you, you don't have an urge. You don't have an urge.
As you fast, Ramadan also strives to encourage empathy for those less fortunate.
It's about experiencing what the poor feel, and they have to go through their whole day, hungry, so you're supposed to go through that too and experience life as they would feel it as well.
This religious observance may sound restrictive, but each day ends with iftar, or the fast-breaking meal. Besides satisfying hunger, iftar promotes fellowship and family.
You go for break the fast, and after say prayer, then we have a dinner. And there we do a lot of interactions, meeting each other, talking about that.
Ramadan is marked on most Western calendars without many non-Muslims fully understanding it. But as these local residents explain, the beliefs behind the observance are universal.
There is nothing different. This religion is for peace, love, charity, taking care and becoming good human being.
Alexa Sita, Torrance City Cable.
Thank you, Alexa. Many children do not participate in Ramadan, often starting when they are teenagers. Pregnant women and the elderly can also abstain from fasting if they choose to. And for some, like the hundreds of Muslim athletes whose Olympic appearances coincide with Ramadan, fasting can be postponed to a later date. And that's going to do it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.